So last video we basically finished with navigation and all the next of the stuff we have for our UI. In this one we're going to make it so that we actually update all of this, or well, most of them, since we don't have all of the stats based. Let's see. Okay, so basically what we're going to do, if you are going over one of these slots and it has an item, it's going to update you the items, the icon over here, all the stuff. So let's not waste any time and let's go do that. So handle slot movement is basically what makes us change slots, which is down here basically, and that means we have a currently equipped slot. After that, we should do an equipment slot in here, and we should say previously equipment slot. Let's see where we are calling this handle slot movement, and in here we can say if previously equipment slot is not equals the current equipment slot, okay, we're going to equip here, and of course previously equipment slot will be the same as your current equipment slot. Let's create the loading, or well, the loading of the stats for the current equipment slot. And let's see where we should make this. We should start it. I believe, yeah. Let's go, let's add it in here. So we're going to say void load load item from slot. And if the current equipment slot is null, for now return. Okay, we should be resetting our previous variables, like all of this should go on the default ones. If not, then let's see what we have into our equipment slots. Let's do a pick. We have the icon, slot type, slot, and from the icon we can also take the ID for the weapon, for the item. So that means we can get all of the stuff we're going to need. So let's get the ID for, well, let's call this weapon ID, and this is going to be current equipment slot dot icon dot ID. Okay, from the weapon slot we can get our weapon stats, and let's call this, or let's call it, actually this kinda goes along with what type of current equipment slot it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it even more. So I'm going to say load weapon item, we'll do a switch in here, current equipment slot depending on the slot type. Okay, and because all of this will change something, will do something different for the most part. Load weapon item. So since we know it's a weapon, let's find our weapon stats, or let's just call it stats. We will do that from our resources manager. So get weapon stats, we pass the ID, and we have everything. So the only thing left to do At this point, it's just load or update the correct values for all of this, or for everything we have in here. The first thing, for example, should be the let's do the icon, which is the easiest. So sender overlay, big icon, no, big icon is the other one where we have to load it. So it's not the sender overlay, it's probably the weapon info. Okay, let's see how we have named that. Weapon info. So in here, let's do weapon info dot small icon dot sprite current equipment slot dot icon. Okay, dot icon dot icon. Actually, current equipment slot dot icon dot this isn't actually the. We should also get the item, so we are getting the item from all the data we need from there. Get item. And now, since we are going to use the resource manager all this time, let's assign it in here. Resource manager and resource manager. Get item, the item type, we know what item type it is a weapon. So that will be, our small icon is going to be the item dot icon. Okay, and I want to actually we're going to do a pick definition in here, not the weapon stats, on the weapon info. And I'm going to, that's not going to work. Well, I want to do a split, but it's not going to let us, so we're going to do pick definition instead. Okay, and from over here we basically have everything we want to update. Yeah, that's going to be annoying. So, for example, weapon type, we should be getting, we don't store anywhere where we have our weapon type, but let's just write it in here, just so that we know in the future what we need to update. Damage type, again, we don't have this, we don't currently store this into our weapon stats. We don't even store the skill name. Weight cost, durability, no. But we do store the item name, and that will be weapon info dot item name dot text will be, let's take it directly from the item, name item. Okay. We will fix this later, since we don't have any of this at this point. Let's write this one sender. Let's do the sender overlay, even though we don't have it yet. I think we actually have set it up though. So let's do it anyway. We want big icon, item, skill name, skill description. Okay, I'm just leaving them here so I can write them. And we're going to do sender overlay dot big icon unless it's not. Come on. Yeah, that's not it. We want this center overlay, and we missed it. Yeah, center overlay, big icon, dot sprite will be, and item, we only have one icon, so just make sure this icon is big enough, and it will be downscaled on everywhere else. Or if you want to have separate, it's up to you. Item name, item description, this will be text, this will also be text. So item description, skill name, we don't have the skill name, so let's just write it in here, and we're going to fix that in the future. Or well, actually we can just do it in here, to be honest. We can do it right now, by in here. Public string, skill name. However, we have the setting for the skill name for doing skills, okay, because it's just the actions you can do with the item. And we have skill name, load weapon item, we have it also in here. Okay, we can go and add all of this as well. Let's go and yeah, this will be on the weapon stats. So let's do a pick definition for our weapon stats. Okay, let's split it up. I wanted the other ones, but anyway. So we want weapon type, damage type, skill name, weight cost, durability. For weapon type, we can have an enum, unless we have, yeah, we don't have added anything from what I can see. So let's just add them as well in here. Let's say I'm going to add random stuff because I don't actually remember everything. So this could be sword, great sword, club, spear, bow, I think it's going to have shield. Well, anyway, I don't remember the rest of it, but you can go and find them. So we have our weapon stats. Let's add it below below all the stuff. So we can also say public weapon type, or you can actually just set this up as a string, to be honest. So if a weapon is double classed, yeah, I think, yeah, let's add them as a string instead of an enum, so that you can just write anything you want over there, because it doesn't have much of a difference. Like even if it's if it's a shield, you can still attack with a shield depending on, of course, the skill and ability, but it's just going to have different stats in here. So the weapon type, the category for this, it's kind of arbitrary, if you ask me. So yeah, why bother? Public string, let's add the damage type. Yeah, well, the damage type is not arbitrary, although it could be. So let's just add them as a string, because it's not really using this, it's just going to use the above. Okay, so this is more for info for you, but I'm pretty sure I've seen damage type like it's 2 or 3 different types, so whatever. Okay, public string skill name, although we can just reuse the one from the item directly. Actually, I don't want to take it from the item. I want to add the skill name also in here. Let's see. Okay, skill name, let's remove this. This in the inventory, we want here. Okay, so this will now be stats, skill name, and weight, cost, and durability. Public integer, actually it's a float, weight, cost, let's assign like 5 or something, it doesn't matter, it's not really affecting, and then maximum durability. Let's go with 80. The minimum durability, we're going to have to get it from our runtime weapons. Yeah, from the runtime weapon, but anyway, we'll do this later. So, no, actually we should have, there is persistency between items. Like if you get a weapon and it breaks, it will always be broken unless you go and repair it. Okay, but that is for much later, because right now we will have to save stuff, do save files, and we're not at that point yet. So weapon type text will be stats dot weapon type. Damage type text will be stats damage type. Weapon info dot skill name dot text will be stats dot skill name. Weapon info dot weight cost dot text will be stats dot weight cost to string, and weapon info dot max durability max dot text, it's going to be stats dot weight cost dot not weight cost, max durability to string. Well, for now let's just add the minimum durability dot text stats dot minimum durability max durability dot to string this, but we're going to change this later. So there goes all of this. We finish with this also. Let's try this. This will probably work without any problems for the most part. Let's make sure we've also have set up the sender overlay though. Yeah, it has, even though we're not going to see it, we're not going to be able to see it, it has a lot of it has stuff to see, to show. Although I think, yeah, this works now. Let's load the item. Okay, this changes. We don't have, you can see the name, but the rest of the stuff which we don't have, it just doesn't show. And you can see that in here it doesn't have anything. So this is going to be the unarmed one. Like if nothing is updating, we're going to just load the unarmed item, which is basically just going to say, it's going to have dots or whatever. Let's see. Let's change the Let's go into our resources, weapons, for our sword, stats, great sword, weapon type, slash, damage type, weapon type, great sword, slash, skill name, pause, weapon type, sword, damage type, slash, thrust, whatever, and skill name, skill name, let's say heavy attack or whatever, heavy attack. Okay, we have this, we can update this also. Let's change them, let's add some damage. So this is going to be entirely random, just to see that, you know, it updates. Okay, great sword, slash, heavy attack, pose, and the rest of the stuff. Let's update this one as well, which is the the slot name basically, and the test item should also change to the name of this. Let's change that. I don't think we actually, maybe we did slot name, current item. Yeah, we have saved that. So current item, let's close this, EQ slot, load, and it's this one should be let's add it above, EQ left dot current item, current EQ slot icon dot so here's a thing, we're going to actually find the item before we do that, so we don't need we're going to take all of this, we're just going to pass it in here, and this one should be getting the item. We're also going to take the resources manager from in here, and we can pass the resource manager as well in here. In case we want to get it. So the weapon ID, it's no longer a weapon ID, it's going to be current EQ slot icon.item icon.id. We don't want any of this now. No, we actually want that. Let's bring it all back. Current item dot item name item, and we should be passing this the resource manager. Okay, and this is the text also. Okay, so this will also update the EQ left. We should also add one of these in the equipment slot. We should just add public string slot name and let's see, I think, yeah, let's do this as well. So that will be EQ left dot slot name dot text, take it directly from current EQ slot dot slot name. Now, if we don't have an item, we should still be just getting. Okay, so we should just assign a current slot for the unarmed, I believe. Let's think a little bit how we should probably do this. And yeah, maybe we can just assign a default one. Let's see, current EQ slot and slot movement in here. So basically, if a slot doesn't have an icon base, I believe, oh no, it's going to have an icon base because there is, but if it doesn't have an ID, it shouldn't have, yeah, it shouldn't have any properties. Let's think. Okay, so here's what we're going to basically do. We're going to go into, yeah, actually, I just thought of this. If we have, if current EQ slot dot, or actually if string dot is null or empty, current EQ slot dot icon dot ID. Okay, if it's empty, current EQ slot dot icon dot ID equals unarmed. Or we can have a default one and stuff like that. So I'm going to save that. Let's see what this, yeah, so delete this. Let's go to the resources. And we want to have on our weapon, on the unarmed. Okay, all this is going to remain the same. I'm just going to add scores in here because, yeah, they don't really matter. Let's just say 100 by 100 or whatever. And I'm going to go into the item and I'm going to say, I'm just going to assign this, and sprite. Yeah, we don't really want anything. We actually want something on the sprite, which will probably be something empty. Yeah, and we're just going to assign the empty in here. If we don't have something empty, this is going to look just a white box, which we don't want that. Let's hit play. Okay, the empty now works, as you can see. And we need to load inventory again. And we have this, and when we are empty, we have all the stuff. We should also create all the slot names. So we should go and add onto our canvas inventory, not top bar, sender, left, text, no text. We want the sender, not left, equipment, weapon slots. Okay, all of this, well, the first three should be slot name, right hand weapons, right hand slots. Left hand slots. I'm just going to say arrow slots, although two of them should be bolts. Oops. Okay, let's do the rings. And this can just be item slots. And let's make this covenant slot. Close that. Let's hit play. Okay, right hand slots, left hand slot, equipment slots, ring slots, item slots, and yeah, it works in fine. Let's fix the attack power, guard absorption, and all the rest of the stuff. Let's first find where we have saved them. And in the center, it's in under weapon info, and we have all this stuff. We can get the attack slot. Okay. And we have the attribute, so we can use this to get an attack slot. From the attribute type, we can get all of this, and from the attack defense type, we can get all of this nice stuff, which we can also use for the defense. So let's go and encapsulate a little bit, so we can say void update UI element, update UI attack defense element, and we're going to want to take an attack defense type. Let's call it T, and we're going to write a string, and we're going to just use a value. So, for example, if I want to say, let's take the first one. Come on. Which is physical. Okay, although physical is probably calculated from, from all of this. We're going to do physical and magic. So that will be in here. You're going to say attack defense type physical 3. We're going to fix that later, don't worry. And update UI attack defense element magic. Okay, doesn't matter, anywhere we want to, but we just need to get the slots basically, which should be, let's close this and this and this, and we have all of this. So get attack defense slot, which is inside the weapon info. Actually, let's see where it is. Yeah, store this. Let's call it S1, and we should do weapon info dot get attack defense slot. The list is going to be weapon info dot. We should find what list we want, which will be attribute slots. We have the attack power grid and attack. I think no, this is the bonus. The AP should be, yes, you can guess. Yeah, it's the attack power. Attack power slots. Okay, the type is the type we want. We have our type, so that will also be S1 dot slot dot text. No, let's see where we have slot. The icon is the actual icon. We don't want the icon, and we should have, yeah, it's one of yeah, it's text1. We already have set the text1. Text2 is the actual value. So that will be text equals your value. Similarly, no, this will, yeah, this will probably just update the values we have for this. Well, you know, anywhere that it's similar. So the attack power, you can see this works now. Of course, this is the unarmed one, so it's hard coded. Yeah, this is the defense. But we should just take all of this, although we have something different in here. So anyway, yeah, let's just split them up. It doesn't matter. Who cares, I guess. So this will be the attack elements. Okay, this is correct. It works. Do a copy paste. Oops. And do update. Actually, instead of doing that, we can just say attack defense element, and we can pass a list in here. We can pass the list as well, and that list will be list. Let's see what this is. This is attack defense type. No, attack diff type. And in here pass the list. Okay, as well. So that will be attack defense type physical weapon info dot ap slots. Same over here, weapon info dot ap slots. This is going to be the attacks of the weapon. So that means stats dot physical, stats dot magic, well, to string, okay, to string, and so on and so on. Yeah, since we're here, let's just do this. Magic, yeah, we have all of this, as you can guess. Fire, fire, lighting, lighting, frost, frost. We don't have frost on weapon stats. Yeah, so I guess we have to add them. Public frost, frost course as well, and the rest of the stuff, you know. Okay, let's take all of these now and add it a few more times. So we have frost course, and let's see, lighting, magic buff, if it has magic buff. Actually, we don't, yeah, forget the magic buff. I don't think we have added an element for that one. Let's add poison, and let's just comment out this one. Yeah, we don't have that one as well, so let's comment this as well. Let's see what this is going to do. This now it's going to take it from, it's going to take them from the unarmed, because we don't have a weapon set. Okay, I basically just wanted to see what error we're going to get. Okay, let's see. And one of these returns us an error, so we don't have a case for one of these, and I'm going to guess it's going to be the course, because we don't have an attack power, a slot for that. Oops. And it's not a course, something else. Maybe it's the dark. No, we have the dark. Yeah, it could be the frost as well. Yeah, so we're missing dark and critical and stability and stuff like that. Let's add the dark as well. Dark and dark. Okay, and this will update the attack stuff. We can, I think this goes on the additional slots. So for example, we should be able to use one of these. On the additional effects. So if we do now frost update poison frost course, yeah, and instead of weapon info we use a effects frost. Let's forget the poison because we don't have it on the stats. You can add it. Effects. Let's, do this. Save. Okay. This updates, but I don't know if we missed something. Oh, yeah, these ones don't have text 2, so we can say bool on text 1 will start as false, and if not on text 1 it's going to be text 2, else s slot text 1 dot text equals value. So we can also say here true and true. Okay, and now we have the effects in here, although you cannot see it. Let's if we change on the unarmed and say that we have 5 frost, yeah. Okay, this is the frost one. Of course, you should also update the icons, but we don't have icons, so we're not going to. But you can see that this works. This works fine. Okay. Although, we can just say that if 0 is, if you are at 0, add one of these. But anyway. The requirements, the attack requirements and the stats requirements, it's going to be a whole different thing, so we're not going to see them today. Let's do the defense. Update. We should, update UI attack. Oh, well, I think these are the absorptions, and I have no idea how they work, to be honest. Let's try and see what we have done. So yeah, I think because you can actually block with this, there's probably defenses in the weapon stats as well for the guard absorption, at least from what I can tell. So that means we're going to go into our weapon stats. Let's go and add the poison as well, just to be done with that. Okay, public int poison. However, I'm going to go in here and say I'm going to add on every property attack. We're going to have to update the items again, the stats for the items. Okay, and then that means I can see that guard absorptions are oops. You can see that there is decimals, so that means there is yeah, there are floats instead of integers. So public float, let's call this defense, have physical and I don't think it also get, yeah, let's add the strike, the slash thrust magic Okay, so this will be our defenses, which also means we can just take this now onto our inventory UI and let's see what we have now. Okay, you can see that they updated by Ctrl+R, they updated by itself. So if we take all of this, paste it in here, and now change the AP slots to, let's see, it should be the defense slots or something like that. Yeah, it's the guard absorption slots. Change the list to all of this. Now we want to have, instead of A, we want the and something is wrong on our stats. Let's try, yeah, this will be physical. I think only these four that are yeah, are on the, yeah, and yeah, we'll have stability as well. Let's add the stability and the poison. This will be the critical. Yeah, I don't think it's going to have any effect on that. Public float stability. In here, let's go. Vendor UI. Let's copy all this. stability, guard absorption, stability. Let's take one of these again, and let's do the critical and critical. Okay, we have all of this. Let's update. No, before we update that, let's go and update weapon status. I'm going to add physical 50. I'm just going to, you know, randomly select a few of these. Critical, I think it's almost always 100, unless it's more. I don't think it's going to be lower, although I don't know why, what the actual relationship between that. Let's add something. Okay, it doesn't really matter. I'm writing random stuff. Let's say 35. I believe this stability has to do with how much you are getting damaged. For the great sword, let's go with 100 or whatever. Let's leave the rest. Let's say critical 100, stability. Let's go with 35. Let's say physical 38, 20, 15, 35, 5 or whatever. Okay, we don't really care about this. Okay, obviously you should balance all this in your own time. I mean, you know, that's the hard part. Let's say 56, let's say critical 100, 5, stability 25 or whatever. Okay, so we have let's update load an item. We have all of this, and they update depending on the item. It should also update the sender overlay. If we make this public, you can see we have the description, we have the skill, what it is, although I think, yeah, we should probably drag this anywhere else. And there is also skill description, so that means we also need to update on our items. Where is it? Inventory manager, item. We should just add again public string skill description. Hopefully we have saved the, let's see, on our sender overlay we have a text. Yeah, we have the skill description, so that means above over here we can just say EQ oh no, we can say, where's the damn sender overlay? Sender overlay. We should actually just take this out of here and put them in here, since all the items can have a sender overlay. But you're going to need the skill name. That's a thinker. Well, anyway, we're going to drop this one in here, but keep the rest above. And if it doesn't have a skill, then it's just going to assign not text. Skill description dot text item dot skill description. Okay. Add inventory manager. We have everything. And sender overlay. Of course, we haven't added any skill description for swords. Let's do that just to make sure it works. Add description. the great sword of skill description. Attack from, or yeah, whatever. And now we don't want anything. You can just say yeah, underscores or scores, I guess. Description: do an attack heavier than the normal. Let's open the sender overlay. Okay, great sword of accent, sword of Utopia, and what of all of this update as it should. And for the items, let's see. This is the, yeah, this should take it from for the bestus, but for some reason we didn't. Let's check the slots, because I think we might have forgotten to update the slots. No, it's consumables. Okay, then that will mean, oh yeah, this is not going to work. We can't get away with this because we also need to update the item weapon, so that means all of this should just go in here. We can still pass the resource manager, it's not going to be a problem. Okay, for the, let's delete that. For consumables, rings, stuff like that, it's probably going to make more sense if we have opened the sender overlay. I have to check what the game does, to be honest. So instead of load weapon item, let's encapsulate this all though. So I'm going to say void update sender overlay, and just give me the item, and I'm going to take everything myself. So for example, sender overlay, drop this one in here, update sender overlay, update sender overlay, and just pass me the item. Okay, awesome. Then we can encapsulate this as well, although this can just, you know, go over here, EQ slot, and maybe this can go, no, this takes it from the item. Okay, let's do the void load consumable item, pass the resources manager, pass that. There's going to be a lot of copy paste, so for example all this except of the weapon stats, we don't want that. We have our item, this one is going to be consumable now, and update sender overlay with the item. As I said, I don't know what happens in the sender when you are on the consumables. I'll have to check. And if we have it, so if we take this now and drop it in here, pass the resource manager as well, it now should update more correct. Let's open the sender overlay right from the start, because we want to check the items. And let's say inventor UI, load. Okay, Bestus, yeah, skill, we should rename that to something else. And it says your Bestus friends in dire situations. Okay, awesome. Let's make it so that when we hit the load, okay, load equipment, then do previous equipment slot, do this null. This is going to just make our life easier. So what's going to happen when I hit load, it's going to ignore the previous equi slot and it's going to force it to load the item we have. I mean, if it works correct, and it works. Okay, so we have that one as well. Sender overlay. Now, here's what we're going to do next. I'm not going to cover player status, at least not on the video. Okay, because you know the whole idea, it's the same. The player status are changing based on the item you have in here. Okay, so yeah, your task will be to update this on your own time, and on the next video or the video after that, or well, anyway, whenever I have this ready, because it's really not important at this point. Yeah, I'm going to show you how I did it and how I written it. Okay, it's basically the same way we do this. Okay, and well, if you want to be more correct, the same way we do this in here. Just encapsulate it and just pass the correct value from value. There's a lot of calculations that happen though. Okay, for example, the right hand weapon has to do with the attributes your character has and stuff like that, which we don't have right now, and we don't know the calculations. We're going to do another video that handles all that. Okay, but for right now, yeah, just simply hooking these things up, we're going to do that. On the next video, we're going to make it so that you can change the items. We're loading the items, but what happens if you want to change this to, you know, to something else instead of what you have in here. So, you know what to do. Like, subscribe if you like to see more. If you like to see it earlier than when it goes live, check the description. If you support me on Patreon, we can also continue making all of this. And the other way you can support me is, of course, via Gumroad. I'll see you next time.